What's going on, guys? Pulaski come back with two more reviews. These ones are Maggie Carey's To-Do List and Balthasar Kormakor's Two Guns. What's going on, guys? I'm going to review both of those movies in this review, okay? At 5-minute mark, I'm going to switch over to the Two Guns review just like that and give you guys the scoop on both of these films. I'm sorry, guys, I had to wait a little bit longer for my review of the To-Do List. When I was away on vacation after I saw it, so I couldn't shoot it out there. I had no time. I thought about shooting it outside, but my neighbors were outside. Just as I finished the update video, I thought about shooting it now and just deleting the update video. Then the neighbors came out and wanted to do it in front of them. It would have been a bad situation. Anyway, though, guys, to the To-Do List. We're starting off with that, directed by Maggie Carey, starring Aubrey Plaza of Parks and Rec. Safety Not Guaranteed, one of last year's sleeper hits. Hope you guys saw that one. But basically, the movie's set in Boise, Idaho in 1993. Aubrey Plaza plays a very sexually naive girl, but a very intelligent girl who just graduated high school and doesn't want to go to college, an inexperienced virgin. So what she tries to do is create a to-do list that is, of different sexual things that she wants to do. Let's just say there are a lot of jobs and a lot of stuff that I can't say in this video. And what goes on then is she starts to hang around with different people, and she kind of neglects her friends and goes to try and do these other sex things. Meanwhile, she's working at a water park. It's not the kind of wholesome water park adventure you get with the way back. What she winds up doing is she winds up working at the water park, which is run by Bill Hader, and then all the situations go on over there, and she starts getting more acquainted with the people at the water park, and then she starts learning that maybe this lifestyle isn't for her. You kind of know the story before you even sit down and watch it. But anyway, one thing I want to mention, though, about this movie that I really liked from the get-go is that it features a lot of independent stars. And it's an independent ensemble, if you want to call it that. It's got Aubrey Plaza, like I said, Bill Hader, Scott Porter, Christopher Mintz-Plasse from, McLovin from Superbad and Kick-Ass. And then you got Andy Samberg in it, too. So it's a very good cast of independent people and a lot of indie actors. The issues I take with the movie, though, are that it sacrifices a great concept for kind of like the almost inept sort of childish view you kind of hoped it wouldn't have taken, because this is like American Pie for girls to begin with, which is a great angle to be explored. I just watched a couple great independent movies, one of which was a Norwegian movie called Turn Me On, Goddammit, which went into like a young teen girl who was so consumed by hormones she was masturbating every day and so on and so forth. It was a very kind of a sad movie too, because you really see how this girl wanted to stop, but it kept consuming her life. But anyway, though, with an American movie, you're really not going to get that more often than not. But I will say, though, this movie does have some good laughs in it, albeit that it is kind of mean-spirited, and Aubrey Plaza's character does kind of get to be a little bit much. When she starts being mean to her friends, you kind of start getting away from that ability to side with her when you see how more obnoxious she is just with her friends and everybody that really liked her to begin with. And it's even hard to believe, too, that a girl this intelligent and this smart, who's a valedictorian in her high school, for Christ's sake, that she would go on to do, adopt this lifestyle, regardless of how desperate she is to have sex. You'd think that she'd be at least smart enough to go into some sort of relationship and then go into this. But it's a movie, of course, and I go to it and I overanalyze it. And it is a decent movie to begin with. There are some good laughs. It's not that long. It's only about an hour and 43 minutes, so it goes by pretty fast, okay? And it's a nice, lighthearted movie. Again, Aubrey Plaza is really good. There's just not a lot of connectivity with the jokes and everything that I really thought was funny. I mean, and like I said, it's sacrificed for the sort of predictable jokes, and instead of having one good storyline, it kind of goes off into a number of vignettes which are oddly sexual and very perverse. But again, it's a joyful movie. It's a bit better than a lot of the comedies I've seen, mainstream comedies at least that I've seen, that have sacrificed their star power, such as Identity Thief and Hangover Part 3, So I like it to begin with. It's not that bad, and it is interesting to get a female perspective on sex and everything, even if it is a little bit shallow and degrading. Out of 4 stars, I'm giving To-Do List 2.5. My review's on Influx magazine right now. You can check it out, link below. The other movie that I'm reviewing right now, and I know it's a little bit early, not quite 5 minutes yet, but whatever, who's stopping me? Balthasar Kormakor's Two Guns. Okay. Now, I saw this with my father today. My father and I do not see many movies together. We saw Seven Psychopaths Killing Them Softly last year, and then we saw I'm trying to think. We saw Monsters University together, which he hated and I liked. As if you've seen my review, you know what I'm talking about. But we saw Two Guns today, and my dad always says the best movie we ever saw together was Robots. Yes, the animated one from DreamWorks. Warner Brothers, excuse me. Yeah, you know what you're thinking. Anyway, though, he claims Two Guns, gives it 6 out of 4 stars, and claims it is the best movie we have ever seen. I could not disagree more. I believe it is the worst movie we've ever seen. I'll tell you how bad it was. At one point in the theater, this random guy got up, okay? He got up and he stormed down the stairs. And he walked across to the bottom of the base of the stairs, and then, or the base of the floor, or the bottom of the stairs, and then turns to the front row, or the back row, I mean, and coldly yells, "I'll see you outside to see how frickin' tough you are." And that moment alone, he was yelling to these 3 guys in the back row. That moment alone was more tense than the entire movie. Anyway, though, moving right along, as far as the whole Two Guns goes, it's basically about Mark Wahlberg, Denzel Washington. Wahlberg is a naval intelligence officer. Denzel Washington is a DEA agent. They failed to infiltrate this Mexican drug cartel. So now then they realize that they're each, they're not totally who they say they were. They both work for separate agencies. Now they have to go and try to infiltrate the drug cartel again. Is this a movie you've seen before? Probably. If it's not, it's similar to one you've seen. And that's the biggest flaw with the movie to begin with, okay? It is not original, it is not entertaining, and it is certainly the kind of movie you expect in August, okay? Now, I do enjoy Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington, and to be fair, they're pretty good here, okay? But I'm telling you, there are so many tedious things about this movie that just bug the hell out of me. A lot of people are comparing it to Tony Scott movies. Tony Scott, he actually died a year ago in a couple weeks. It's real sad. He killed himself. But a lot of people have been comparing this to the Tony Scott movie he never made. Because he worked with Denzel Washington on a lot of movies. He worked on Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. He worked on Unstoppable. They worked on Man on Fire. I think they did Deja Vu. I might be wrong. I think Deja Vu was a Tony Scott movie, but I don't know. Moreover, though, everybody's claiming that this is the Tony Scott movie for 2013. I don't believe so. I wasn't a big fan of Tony Scott to begin with. A lot of his movies didn't appeal to me, but I think Tony Scott would have had better themes and more like, because even as Tony Scott, no matter how big and bombastic his movies were, they had some sort of theme and some cohesion, and they at least had some intricate elements, okay? This movie, the only intricate elements it has are the ones that it has a hard time explaining. The plot is very convoluted. There's a lot of half-baked characters you're trying to follow to begin with. Halfway through, I gave up. It's not horribly confusing, but halfway through, I just gave up trying to piece everything together. To begin with, there's not a whole ton interesting about this setup anyway. Wahlberg and Washington are great, but another big problem with this movie, besides that it's just unoriginality, is the fact that the banter between these guys is like repetition mistaken for wittiness. And that's all I can say about it. I mean, the first monologue, the first scene in the movie is Mark Wahlberg at a diner on his cell phone trying to order breakfast. He's on his cell phone with Washington, and then Washington's running a little bit late, and Wahlberg's trying to order for him. Then when Washington gets in, he tells the waitress to correct everything and give him this, and then Wahlberg's got to make a comment about what he gets on that. Then they got to go on a debate about what food is better and how he doesn't like pancakes because he's a communist or whatever. I don't know, but it's not funny, and it goes on for a long time, including the one scene, too, when they're both in opposite cars, and they're heading straight for each other head-on, and then they slide and connect, and then they punch each other, and then they go into some ridiculous middle school-ass kids fight on the playground, and it's like unbelievable. It gets to be very, very tedious and very boring. I was surprised by how lame and lackluster this is, given the talent involved. Out of 4 stars, this gets a 1.5. The good thing about this movie, though, I will say, is that I've seen so much garbage this year, between 21 and Over, Movie 43, A Haunted House, all these movies, and just all these bad movies, Hangover Part 3, just to mention it again, that this will probably not crack my top 10 of worst movies this year. That's about all I can say. Thank you guys for watching.